Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda and this is Confidence Mindset with Amanda. So in this video, we're going to look over how our body reacts and responds to our environment as we are creating this money mindset with our affirmations every day. So I want to talk about the limiting belief really that you have to work hard to have wealth in your life, because this is not true. And the reason why I say this is because, from my perspective anyway, it's not about the qualifications you have, it's not about how hard a worker you are, it's not about how smart you are. From my perspective, it's about how valuable you are as a person, because the more valuable you are as a person, your body reacts and responds to the environment in the right way. So, for example, when we are a valuable person, in the sense that we are keeping our mind on the truths of who we are, which is all love, all bliss, all abundance, all harmony, peace, everything that is pure, meaning that we look to virtue a lot, we look to our integrity and our honesty, and everything that kind of implies the value of who we are as a person. And when we are coming from these kind of innate qualities, we tend to react and respond to our environment in a completely different way. So, what do I mean by this? Well, first of all, we are truth seekers, and we know then that our truth is abundance and love and everything that is good to experience in life. So, we know that being rich is our birthright, because obviously, to experience all the riches and beauty of life, money is a part of it. And it's about knowing that you are worth the wealth that you want to experience in your life. But how you get to that inner knowing of knowing that you are worth the wealth you want to experience in life is by giving yourself all these valuable traits and coming from this place of abundant mindset because of it, if you get what I mean. So, for example, if I am telling myself every single day that I am wealthy, that I am loved, that I live a rich and fulfilling life, I'm going to be emanating a different kind of energy than waking up and saying, I never get anything I want, I'm not loved, nobody likes me. Like, obviously, all these kind of lack mentality are going to cause me to show up in a different way in my reality. So I'm going to use an example of two workers going into a retail store, and one is waking up with a lack mentality. I never get pay rises. I have to do this job because I have to pay bills. I don't like my job. I don't like having to deal with customers. And then we've got the other person who is waking up in the morning and they're saying, I am so wealthy. I live such a fulfilling life. I love going to work. I love dealing with customers. And you can even see in the way that I am saying that the spirit that comes out of you as you talk positively, as you talk from these value traits, that you know that your day is going to unfold differently than it is for the one with the lack mentality. So they go into work and a customer comes in and asks the worker with the lack mentality if they can help them find a present for their daughter. And the worker with the lack mentality, remember, who does not like dealing with customers, gets up and has this bodily behavior that will be unconscious to them. They may think they're doing a great job in the moment, because in their mind they obviously go to work and they think that what they're doing, that they're doing it right, but their body will be moving, their actions will be different, and it'll be all coming from an unconscious lack mentality. So they will go around the shop with the customer. They won't have a great conversation with them because they don't like dealing with customers. They won't be showing the customer different items to purchase. The customer is going to feed off this energy. And because the customer feeds off that energy, the customer is going to say, it's okay, I will have a look for myself. So then we have the other person who is in the same job, who sees the customer then around the store, notices that nobody is helping the customer anymore, and approaches the customer and asks the customer, hi, how can I help you? So the customer then says, oh, I was just looking for a present for my daughter. It's her birthday. And because this person has an abundant mindset, they give off a more valuable kind of reaction and respond to the environment different. I hope I'm making sense here. So out of their abundant mindset, they say to the customer, oh, I just have the right thing. I'll take you over, I'll show you. They show the customer the item. The customer is feeling the energy from them. Then they say to, but you know what? This would also look great with this. How about you get these two? I will give you a deal. And all of a sudden, there's this sale going on from the other person who has the abundant mindset. Now, the two are in the exact same job, but this is what is meant, that it isn't about, it's not about how great you do the job. That other person is not doing anything different. All they are doing is coming from their abundant mindset, which means their subconscious automatically responds to their environment different, because your subconscious doesn't have eyes, and so as soon as you tell it something, it's going to start looking for ways to bring it into your reality. So because this person is waking up in the abundant mentality, the subconscious goes to work to program the body, in a sense, to tell the body that, okay, well, we have an abundant mindset, so let's go and do things that are abundant. Let's look for value. Let's seek out how we can create more abundance in our life. I hope I'm making sense. So we have two workers here, one with the lack mentality, one with the abundant mentality, both doing the same job, but the abundant mentality gets the sale. Because the abundant mentality gets the sale, the boss notices this as well, gives that worker a promotion, and then we have two people at the same job doing the exact same thing. But however, because they both have two mentalities, one gets up higher than the other. I hope I'm making sense here. So I want to also bring in the idea that we are reminding ourselves every day with our affirmations that we are worthy and deserving, and we are valuable, and we are attracting this wealth in. It's all the repetition that's going into our mind that is unconsciously causing our subconscious mind to go and seek out how to bring it into a reality, which means our body is going to react and respond unconsciously in different ways. Now, there's another social psychology law called the law of reciprocity. And the law of reciprocity means that if you do somebody a favour, the other person who is on the receiving end of the favour automatically, innately thinks that they have to return the favour. And this all ties down as well to what we are telling ourselves every single day in regards to wealth. So if we are telling ourselves every single day that we are wealthy and that we love what we do, or we are building ourselves up, yes, but we become more valuable in a sense, because it's the psychology behind all these affirmations that are building our confidence and our belief within ourselves. And as that comes out of us, we unconsciously become this valuable person. It's like our body just automatically responds and reacts to our environment in this way, because the subconscious seeks out the ways to bring into our reality what it is that we are affirming for every single day. And this is how we become more valuable. So it's not about what qualification you have. It doesn't matter how hard you work, because, as I say, the two workers are doing the exact same job. They're both on the floor in retail, and just because somebody does it in a different way, they're not doing anything that's harder in work. If anything, it's actually easier for them, because they're coming from this abundant mindset where they're enjoying their life. Remember, we have to be enjoying our life while we're manifesting. But we get into this enjoyment state by the repetitive positive affirmations that we are putting into our mindset every single day, because it's starting to seep in to our subconscious. And as our subconscious is a programming our body, it's seeking out the ways to bring it into our life. So I hope I'm making sense here. So that's what we talk about when we are being valuable. But because then the law of reciprocity causes us then to want to do favors for people as well, because we are coming from this abundant mindset. And as we do these things in our day-to-day life, people automatically have this innate thing where they want to return the favor. So because this co-worker, yes, was coming from the abundant mindset, started to talk to the customer in a different way, started showing more items, was more conversational with the customer. The customer can feel this in it. That's a member about the energy emitting from their body, but also because they're doing a little bit more in giving attention to the customer really than the other one. The customer feels this innate feeling of having to reciprocate what attention they are getting, if you get what I mean. So because the customer is feeling that they have to reciprocate how the worker is presenting to them, they end up buying the items from that worker because they feel inside that this person is giving me attention, they're doing a favor for me, and it's unconscious. They want to buy from this customer. So because they want to buy from this customer, the customer was able to sell a couple of items, or sorry, the worker was able to sell a couple of items to the customer, and the customer goes out happy, the boss is happy, sees what happens, promotes the retailer, if you get what I'm trying to say. So I wanted to bring up that idea, that kind of concept of what is happening to our body when we are reminding ourselves every single day that we are this wealthy person, because it's not about just telling ourselves that we're wealthy and that we're manifesting this specific amount of money. As we continue to tell ourselves this, we become this person unconsciously. And as we become this person unconsciously, the opportunities open up. Like that retailer didn't do anything different and yet got the promotion. The opportunity just came to them. They weren't even looking for it. So do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like we're changing our mindset when it comes to maintaining manifestations in our life, when it comes to easy, effortless manifestation. Because how easy was that for that co-worker who was doing the same job as the other co-worker, but yet gets the sale because of how they approach the customer. Now, this is just an example. It doesn't mean that it's always that way, but if you become more valuable within yourself, 9 times out of 10, you are going to be more valuable then when it comes to maintaining and manifesting a substantial amount of wealth into your life, because it's just the way that it is. If this is a social psychology thing, the law of reciprocity, obviously then it's law as well too, just like the law of assumption, that if you are giving out favors to people have this innate thing where they just feel like they have to repay it. So the more valuable you are, the more you want to do things. So the more abundant you feel, the more you want to share that, the more you want to partake in doing favors for some, and then you get it received back to you in some ways. Now, I know it's not always the case. I know we can do favors for people and they don't they don't reciprocate, but however, it is 9 times out of 10 how we are believing in ourselves and knowing that when we're coming from this abundant mindset, that this is how our subconscious actually looks to bring more opportunities and looks at all the ways to bring wealth into our reality, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So I also want to talk about how there is always movement as well too when it comes to anything that we're manifesting behind the scenes. And I thought I'd bring up the example of J.K. Rowling because I'm a Harry Potter fan, but also as well too the story about how her book as well was rejected. Was it 12 by 12 different publishers? But I was reading up on how she, got her all her wealth, but she was actually on welfare, I think, at the time that she got Harry Potter published. But however, she was struggling in her wealth, and the book went, obviously the story, as we all know, went to 12 different publishers that was rejected. But I noticed that there was movement behind the scenes when she got to the when her agent ended up getting it published. So it turned out that Bloomsbury ended up taking the Harry Potter book in, but the agent was going around for like a year trying to get this book published and nobody would take it. And the only reason that Bloomsbury actually took the book was because they had this worker who was creating this portfolio of new children's authors and wanted to build up the portfolio. So we have this person working at Bloomsbury looking for more authors to put into the portfolio, and it was his idea. He put the idea to Bloomsbury to accept J.K. Rowling's story because he had this idea that he wanted to build up his portfolio. So this is how the movement is going on around the scenes, and that was inevitably the publisher then who took in the book, and then the rest was history. But you see how the movement is always going on behind the scenes. Like, we have this person working at Bloomsbury who wasn't even the person who actually is the last say taken in the book. He put the idea to the publishers, so he just put the idea there because he was trying to build up this portfolio, but they only listened to him. They weren't actually even listening to the to J.K. Rowling's agent at first. They only Bloomsbury only took it on because of their worker that was in there that put the idea to them. So you see how the movement goes on behind the scenes, and the key is to never give up, because many times was Harry Potter rejected 12 different times, and I mean J.K. Rowling was on welfare. I'm sure she was, she really believed in Harry Potter, of course, but I'm sure she had days where she, was struggling and felt like her books were not going to get the recognition that they deserved, and the anxiety that you get around that as well too, and you know that something is great and nobody's accepting it. But the key is to keep going, and this is what we do when we do conscious manifesting as well. This is what persistence is. It's not sitting there and affirming 24/7. Persistence is when you are telling yourself the new story regardless of what is going on. So it's not about sitting there all day and saying I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, and then a bill comes in and then you're like, oh my god, I can't pay this bill. That's not the way. The persistence is I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. The bill comes in. Yeah, I can't afford that. I'll pay that later. That's the way it should go. That's where the persistence is. It's about persistent in the news story no matter what is presented to you. And I know that it can be hard because obviously when we're hit with things and we look at it and we take the 3D as fact, but it's always to remember that there's always movement going on. So all your affirmations are working, and your subconscious is always looking for the ways to bring it into your reality. So we always have to keep in mind that we have to keep telling ourselves the new story, because there is always movement going on. And when we take the 3D as fact, it is a sense where we're wavering, and I know that this is human, and look at me myself, I have days where I would waver too, but get myself back up on it and keep going. But it's about, that's where the persistence is. It's about keeping going no matter what you were seeing. So same with J.K. Rowling, it kept going no matter what was being presented to her about her book. And even though her book, it's a massive success, obviously I love Harry Potter, but the publishers, when they first were presented with the book, Bloomsbury, they weren't even thinking really so much about taking it on either. And because this person who worked with them put the idea to them that they were building this children's portfolio on new authors, distinctive fantasies, they decided that they would give it a chance. So when we look at it from this perspective, and we find ourselves then on days that are not as good as others when we are affirming, keep telling yourself the new story, because there's always movement. That was a whole year. I know that the publisher was going around trying to get the book published, or sorry, the agent was going around trying to get the book published for J.K. Rowling. But however, our manifestations don't have to take that long. But if we just keep going with our affirmations, we're going to see it in our reality. It's just the way that it is. I mean, these are proven. That's a proven example in life, how it comes to pass no matter what you are being presented with. And so with that being said, I think I'll leave that video here. I hope this helps with the idea of what happens with how our bodies react and respond to our environment as our mindset is changing. It's about the subconscious is leading us unconsciously in ways every single day that we're not even aware of, to the opportunities and to seeking out the ways of bringing us our affirmations into fact, our wealth into fact. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening, and if you got this far in the video, thank you for your time. Also, thank you so much for all your likes, comments, and subscribes. I am so grateful, and I will chat to you soon. Thank you.